The Red Wings take on the Capitals, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop Wednesday evening. Washington is minus 210, total 6. We're 6-2 in our last 8 NBA tier package picks on BrockPage.com. And the good news is we have another NBA tier package pick going off here this evening. We're also 9-3 in our last 12 Major League Baseball tier package picks on BrockPage.com as well. We currently have over 925 members who are signed up and active on that website. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. Vitek Vanacek's the expected goaltender for Washington, Alex Nedeljkovic for Detroit. Now, Alex comes into today's contest with a .340 goals against average and an .897 save percentage. The Red Wings are in the bottom 10 in goals allowed, and they're giving up nearly 34 shots on goal per contest. They're taking on a Washington club who won 3 out of their last 4, and they score a whole lot of goals. Alex Ovechkin leads the NHL with 7 goals on the season, second in the league in points with 12. Kuznetsov and Oshie each have 4 goals apiece themselves. Meanwhile, defensively, the Caps allow only 2.6 goals a game, and they rank in the top 3 in defensive shots on goal. Vitek Vanacek's 2-0 with a .205 goals against average. Dowd is questionable, Backstrom's out. Meanwhile, for Detroit, Vrana's still on the IR. Lindstrom's out for tonight's action as well. Detroit's 2-0 to the over on the road. Washington's 3-1 to the over in their last 4 at home. Give me Washington minus 1.5 and the over 6. Next game, Bruins, Panthers, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Florida's minus 135, totals 5.5. Sergei Bobrovsky in net for the Panthers, Linus Ullmark for Boston. Despite some really good numbers out of Ullmark, the Bruins have broken down late in games. They're in the bottom 10 in third period scoring, bottom 10 in third period goals allowed. They're taking on an undefeated Florida team who's leading the NHL in third period scoring. Bennett and Duclair at 4 goals apiece. Jonathan Huberdeau's got 8 total points on the season. Meanwhile, defensively, the Panthers are in the top 3 in fewest goals allowed per game. Sergei Bobrovsky's 4-0 through 4 starts. 199 goals against average, .942 save percentage. Lundell is questionable for Florida. Smith is out for Boston. When it comes to the number in this one, 2 out of Boston's last 3 got over the total. Meanwhile, Florida went 3-1 to the over at home. I'm going to lean toward the Florida Panthers minus 135 and the over 5.5. Next game, Leafs, Blackhawks, 7:30 East. Toronto is minus $2, numbers 6. Jack Campbell for Toronto, Kevin Lankinen for Chicago. And as bad as Chicago's been, Kevin Lankinen comes into today's contest with a .291 goals against average. And like I said, as terrible as the Blackhawks are, it certainly isn't for a lack of trying. Chicago's actually in the top 10 in the NHL in offensive shots on goal at home. Patrick Kane's leading the club with 5 points. Now keep an eye on Kane. He's questionable for tonight's contest. As a matter of fact, Tays, Kara, Stillman, and Borgstrom, they're all questionable for Chicago. Having said that, though, Chicago has had consistent success against Toronto over the past few years. They're 7-0-3 in their last 10 meetings with the Leafs. And speaking of Toronto, they're on a 4-game losing streak, and they allowed 18 total goals during that stretch. Toronto's averaging just 1.8 goals per contest. They're also in the bottom 5 in second period scoring. When it comes to the number in this one, 2 out of Toronto's last 3 road games fell under the posted total. 5-2 to the under for the entire season. Meanwhile, 2 out of Chicago's last 3 home games fell under the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward Chicago plus 1.5 in the under 6. Next matchup, Golden Knights, Stars, 8:30 Eastern puck drop. Dallas is minus 145, totals 5.5. Anton Hudobin for the Stars. Laurent Brossoit for Vegas. Now, Brossoit comes into today's contest with an .875 save percentage. The Knights have lost 4 out of their last 5. And they're on the second of a back-to-back here this evening. Pacioretty and Stone are on the IR for Vegas. Patrick and Martinez are questionable. The Knights are in the bottom 10 in goals allowed per contest. Meanwhile, offensively, they're scoring only 2.1 goals a game. They're taking on a Dallas club who won 2 out of their last 3. And they give up only 2.5 goals per contest. Anton Hudobin's got a 2.50 goals against average and a .909 save percentage. Dallas is in the top 5 in fewest third-period goals allowed. The Stars are also 6-0 to the under thus far in the season. Vegas saw 3 out of their last 4 fall under the line themselves. Give me Dallas -145 in the under 5.5. Next and final matchup, Flyers-Oilers, 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Edmonton's -185, total 6.5. Mikko Koskinen for Edmonton, Carter Hart for Philadelphia. The Flyers are in the bottom 3 in the league in second period goals given up. They're also allowing 34 shots on goal a game. They're taking on an undefeated Edmonton team who's in the top 3 in the league in scoring. Connor McDavid leads the NHL in points with 13. The center's also got 6 goals and 7 assists thus far in the season. Meanwhile, Leon Draisaitl's third in the NHL with 11 points himself. 4 goals, 7 assists for Leon. Now defensively, the Oilers are in the top 10 in fewest first-period goals allowed. Mikko Koskinen's 3-0 with a .203 goals against average and a .943 save percentage. Now, Smith and Stalick are still out indefinitely for Edmonton. Ellis and Brown are out tonight for Philly. When it comes to the total in this one, 3 out of the Flyers' last 4 contests got over the line. Meanwhile, the Oilers are 4-1 at the over in their last 5 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Edmonton -1.5 and the over 6.5 goals. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 6-2 in our last 8 NBA tier package picks. I like Washington -1.5 over 6 goals. Florida -135 over 5.5. Chicago +1.5 under 6. Dallas -145 under 5.5. And before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 6-2 in our last 8 NBA tier package picks on brockpage.com. We're also 9-3 in our last 12 Major League Baseball tier package picks on that very same website. I'm going to lean toward Edmonton -1.5 and the over 6.5 goals. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Alvaro Jimenez, who said earlier this morning, good stuff. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on that website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today, you are going to get access to that content through the end of October. But I do always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. Now, guys, with that in mind, that's going to do it for me. Most importantly, I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content right here on YouTube, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.